As I walk through frozen sands, through the flames of burning lands, my feet are torn, they're torn to strands. I will not thirst as I cross the raging sea. Waves are crashing. I shall rise, oh will I shall rise again and again. I shall rise, oh will I shall rise again and again.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the final race of the season for the GPVWC Formula Challenge. My name is Philip Morby, and this evening I will be working with Mr. Thomas Parker.
Hello.
So, yeah, this is it. This is the final. This is how it ends. We're here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos pace. This 4.3 kilometre circuit of 15 turns. And this is how a great Formula Challenge season ends. It's wrapped up in the constructors. It's technically still available, the championship for the drivers, although it's going to be a push for Stefan Raut with where he's starting compared to James Johnson. But yeah, we're here and ready to go, aren't we, Parker?
Yeah, 18 laps of, well, 2 races of 18 laps. I don't quite know what the points gap is between Ruau and Johnson, but like I say, Ruau's got it back at the grid, so yes, it's going to be a tough. But who knows? You never know. It's just sim racing after all. Anything can happen. Usually it does.
Yeah. We were hoping for a bit of rain, for example. There's a 50% chance of rain. There are showers to the west of the circuit, but they haven't materialised. So we actually had a dry qualifying session, which was brilliant to watch as everyone rushed out to begin with to get a banker lap in, but it never really happened. As you asked, the gap between James Johnson and Stefan Raut is 42 points. So with 50 available, 2 lots of 25, it's going to be hard. I wouldn't be surprised if James wraps this up in race 1. But even looking down, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are only split by a meagre 25 points. So there's still the other podium spot for the drivers. And constructors-wise, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th aren't all finalised yet. But let's start with talking about the track. Obviously, Tom, you've done a lot of Super League around here, and obviously you'll be here for the all final race of the season on Thursday. What do you make of the track?
Personally, it's one I think, if not my favourite track in the entire calendar. Twisty Sector 2 obviously leads onto a huge straight, which leads into the Centre S's, which then leads onto another huge straight. So it's a very tricky track to set up for. Do you go for top speed? Do you go for in the middle sector? It's quite a tricky track to set up for. I mean, go for top speed. I know it's notoriously difficult to overtake this season in all series across the board. So going for top speed could help you, but especially around this track, if you get the middle sector hooked up, my word, can you gain about a second a lap. So it's all about, especially with these cars, they've got low downforce. If you can get the downforce working in those middle bits, you might be able to fly away. But personally, it's one of my favourites. Very bumpy track. I'm not sure if that's because we moved off Factor 2 this year, but it is very bumpy. I mean, high fuel, I don't know what it's like in the Formula Challenge cars, personally, but bumpy. So, I mean, in the braking zones, it can cause lockups. It can cause missing your braking zone completely. You don't want to rear lock going into turn 1, for example. That'd be pretty deadly. So, it's quite a tricky track to master, that's for sure.
Yeah, watching some of the cars during qualifying, even like the exit of the pit lane, it was very bumpy just watching them kind of go down that hill. I'm just watching probably artists spin round during warm-up. So we've got only 46 seconds. I should probably quickly mention some of the penalties from our previous race in Mexico. There are 10 grid drop penalties for Michael Dion and Stefan Raut. for not waiting in the pit lane or passing a car in the pit lane. And then a load of back of the grids. So I'm going to run through these quickly. Mikel Dionge, Francisco Verdasca, Wesley Stefano, Roy Vasili, Matthew Chergwin, Mantas Poyatis, Conrad Zerabik. As ever, I should probably intervene here and say I will get these names wrong all evening. Gerrit de Vries, Lazaros Philippakos, Sherwin van der Sloot, and Lucas Avencio, I think. Then there's a couple more 5-place grid drops for Livijan Kumar and Roy Vasili for race 1, avoidable contact. A couple in race 2, 5-place grid drops, Gerrit de Vries and Lazaros Philippakos. And then some very odd penalties. So Stefan Rout actually got dropped position for exceeding track limits during race 2. So we got exactly a 7.8 second penalty. And then Francisco Verdasca and Conrad Zerabik were actually disqualified for both races for not running the anti-cheat system. It was voluntary for the 2 races ago at USA, and it was mandatory for the first time in Mexico. And sadly, the rules now do say if you don't run the anti-cheat, you're removed from the standings, which is fair enough. And then Shildil Riaz had no contract, no team contract, shouldn't be in the race, again disqualified. So that changed all the final positions a little bit and left it a little bit closer in terms of 3rd and 4th and 5th in the Drivers' Championship.
Oh yeah, like you said, I think Brewster needs, 11 points or something like that to overtake Holmes for 3rd.
So,
And Chergwin needs about 21 or something similar to that. So, like I said, it's absolutely not out of. Although Chergwin's wheel is freaked out. So.
Oh, has it? Oh dear.
Yeah. Supposedly Ben Willis has said wheels freaked out on him. So hopefully he's got to be back.
Oh no, I hope that. Yep, I hope that's gonna be okay for him. So yeah, I'll quickly shout down then. So yeah, first place. If I can just find my own little comments, I've lost them. Where's that gone? Ah, there we go. Is James Johnson with 562 points. Then Stefan Moore out on 520. And then yeah, it gets very tight. It goes Jonathan Holmes 253, Cameron Brewster 245, Matthew Chergwin 232, Mike Quint 225, and then Jeffrey Fournier and Terence Gretsch are both on 215. So technically, they can get 50 points. They can still get on the podium. Still get 3rd place. So
especially if Holmes not here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. Should also give a shout out to Backmarker Brigade, who are technically tied on points at the back of the constructors. So only need 1 point, and the Backmarker Brigade won't actually technically be at the back.
I'm sure Smithy will be very proud of the team. We've got Gerrit de Vries and Brett Metcalf, so fingers crossed for a point. Smithy, we will be cheering him on. But no,
Yeah.
it seems Chergwin's... Is he back yet? I haven't seen him.
No, he hasn't. I'm hoping he does get to return and have a cut these races. He has got back of the grid, but he was about 5th during qualifying.
Yeah,
so
5th.
he's looking quick. We do love a good runner from the back.
Yeah, it's obviously, like I said, with all the back of the grids and all the grid drops, it's going to shake the grid up a bit, so... And like saying Brewster, he's a 4th at the moment in the championship. He's going to be starting 2nd, so he's in a very good position to fight for that.
Thanks and points.
Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here whilst we wait.
Hoping that Joe can get back, gives us a bit more practicing time as Bruno Marcus is trudging down the pit lane, and Chergwin's teammate Cameron Brewster looks like he's going to do a practice entry possibly. Nope, he's going to bank this lap.
Yes, that's one thing. Yep. Oh, there we go. Oh, start.
Couldn't decide.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that quickly point out. Pre-entry. If you are alongside that line, if you're inside that white line, all 4 lines over it, you must go in the pit or you'll get a penalty. So, if for some reason, we don't usually see pit stops in Formula Challenge. If you do need to pit, you've got to be all 4 lines in. You can't just cut across like you see in usual series.
Yeah.
So that could be a penalty. And obviously, it is counting as track limits. So if you've got 4 wheels over it and you don't go in the pits, for example, you will get a penalty for cutting. So the drivers have been warned. So it's going to be interesting to check all that out.
Yeah, they were warned. Also, the kind of quirks of the track for Interlagos is that a lot of the exit rumble strips are very wide, so you can easily run onto the rumble strip and actually run off circuit. Did see a few people doing that during qualifying, but hopefully that's not going to happen during the races. So we're going to have, hopefully, if Chergwin rejoins, we have 28 drivers for this evening's final couple of races. Qualifying rise, they already split about 2.5 seconds. I think it was something like the top 20 were only split by just under a second, which, considering it's an 80-second lap, isn't too bad round here.
Yeah. I mean, in Super League, I remember Super League one year, I think it was 2014 or 2015, I think the top 10, 11, 12 were top separated by 8 tenths. I remember qualifying like 10th when I was like 8 tenths off pole. It was like madness. So you do see shorter gaps here, like I said, because of the short lap times. But makes for fun. It's like there's a lot to do in 80 seconds round here. Tell me that.
Yeah, yes, it's even though you've got that long sweeping kind of final corner, but it's not. It's just flat out. And also after the center S's, there's still a lot. Like I said, that sector 2, I just hate it. Just getting the race director to say to take extra care on the opening laps, and then we should be moving shortly to the race session. Wait for our Mr. R Factor man to set us up.
Here we go.
So yeah, 18 laps. First race of 2 this evening. Just wait for everyone to, as I'd usually be saying, check your petroleums, making sure you've got enough petrol in the tank to finish this race. Obviously, another quirk of the track, hill start. How does the driver cope with that? Because obviously many tracks usually are flat at the start.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put a little bit of brake on, I suppose. If you roll too far back, either at a disadvantage, it's going start, or you get a penalty, and that's not something you want. Having experienced that myself, not here, but
Oh, no,
it's not having a Shogun's gone, is he?
Yeah. So I'm going to shout through top 10, and then I'll let you do 11 to 20, and I'll come back for the final few. So on pole position is Deltec Racing's Bruno Marquez in first position. Also on the front row with him is Drake Racing's Cameron Brewster in second. Edward Batala is in third position with Max Melamed in fourth. I've got Temuka Brer in fifth position. Now, I thought he had a penalty, but I may be wrong on that. Nope, I was wrong. Apologies. He's in fifth. James Johnson, sixth position. Decent place to start from, considering he can wrap the championship this race. I'll get this name wrong as ever. In seventh place, Maciel Miniek for Hints Motorsport. Stefan Morau in eighth position. He really needs to win here to see how he gets on. Antonio Raujankovic in ninth, and Johan Lindberg in 10th.
So we've got Mike Quint in 11th for Scuderia Brasilia, Terence Grack in 12th, Rob Mason is in 13th with Ben Willis 14th for Zederick Racing, Susan Ferreira 15th, Hoekstra 16th in the Academy car, so hopefully some more points for that little team. Van der Weide is 17th for Eval Simracing team, Sam Jones 18th, Brett Metcalf 19th, and Fournier is 20th. I think we're starting to get down into our back of the grids now.
We are. Yep, Francisco Verdasca is 21st, with Mantas Pobliatis is in 22nd. Conrad Zellerick is in 23rd position, with Wesley Stefano in 24th. Roy Vasili is in 25th. Garrett Fries for Market Brigade in 26th. And last but not least, Michel de Jonge is in 27th. That's our grid. Who are you going to be watching this race? I feel like I may watch James Johnson.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, with Johnson, obviously he doesn't want to risk anything. If he crashes and Ruel gets through the field, and he can do it, he's not slow, and Marquez will know that his teammate is fighting for a championship, so will he let him through? I can see it happening, so who knows? But yes, Johnson's going to be an interesting one to watch. Brewster could be one to take advantage if needs be, but we're all lined up and ready for the lights.
We are indeed. So, Bruno and Cameron on the front row of the grid, as we are just waiting for the final ones to line up on the back. There we go, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and for the first time this evening, we are racing. A decent start there from both on the front row, as Batala's also done all right there. Bruno's covering off on the front. He's actually got a decent getaway secondary, as they all come through the first corner, looking just about okay. Back on up, Brigade's already gone off, and no front wing. Oh, there's been a spin.
Oh, spin!
The Academy driver there's been involved. Lots of cars involved at the back there. That's getting a bit ugly as Bruno is pulled away. Batala's defending there from Max Melamed and Temuka Brer. Stefan Rout is going up into 7th position. He's fighting Mr. Murek. Bit of contact there. Oh, a couple off at the front as well. So Stefan already up to 5th, but Johnson's ahead of him in 4th. What are you seeing there, Parker?
I've got Hoekstra at the back, 26th, and Van der Weide is last with no front wing. It seems like he might have been tipped round. I just checked the replay. It looks like he was tipped round by someone, but unfortunate start, but it's pretty clean actually for Brazil.
Yeah, the first corner got a bit ugly, but the top 3 guys managed to pull away there. Batala's got a bit further back as well, actually. He didn't do too well there. Bruno's still in the lead. Cameron Brewster second. Ruka Bear third. James Johnson doing pretty much everything he needs to do here and is ahead of Stefan Rout fourth and fifth. Max Miller at sixth. He comes down the what I call last corner. Johan Lindberg has gone off and is losing positions. He's going to lose a lot of time down this back run, and he's down to ninth. He's about to lose it to Jankovic. There's nearly a bit of contact there. It's Conrad in the last points playing position, but there's lots of slipstreaming going on.
Yep, absolutely, as you would expect around track like here, and some teams may have gone for a wet setup in case of the rain, so it'll be interesting to see top speed.
Rob Mason's gone round, and that infected somebody else there as well, I think. Ziddy's around as well against turn 1, so turn 1 seems to be the danger zone.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, it's one of, if not the main overtaking spot in this track. I mean, you can get it back going down to turn 4, but after all that high speed, you've got a lot of braking to do, so not surprised that we're seeing instance there. But Bruce is now within a second of Marquez, and there's a nice little battle going for third between Cabrera and Johnson.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Bruno is at some point going to start picking up the field to see if he can help his teammate. He's down in fifth, and like I said, at the moment, James Johnson being ahead has the championship all wrapped up at this point. So I think tight battles going on. It's close between 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Mason hasn't got a front wing.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened spin him around, but he was definitely going sideways at turn 1 when he shouldn't have been. Yeah, Cameron now over a second behind Bruno, looks to be running away, which I wouldn't say for his teammate is the right thing, especially when I suppose they're thinking about the constructors, Deltec, who are currently in second. They can't get first, but they can definitely lose out to second to Scuderia Basilia.
Tell you what you can do though, Johnson go around the outside of Cabrera at turn 1, will that work? Not quite. But that has put Ruel right up his chuff.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting battle, because like I said, Ruel really needs to, well, he needs to get ahead of Johnson and then some. Brewster caught up a little bit there. The Marquez, let's see how they're all getting through. Getting a little bit calmer out the front as Rob Mason goes into the pits for what will be a new front wing.
Brewster actually did have fast lap in the race, only by a couple of thousandths, but he is keeping pace with Marquez, so good pace from Mr. Brewster, who is absolutely battling for third. We've got a nice battle there between, who's this between? We've got De Jong, Stefano, and De Vries, all for 20, 21, 22. Pretty dicey. Ooh, who goes wide there? Stefano goes a bit wide, but keeps it. Oh no, De Vries is going around the outside of him. Fair play. Lovely.
I was watching that quickly, had a quick look at him as Rout's going to try and get a... Oh no, Cabrera's all locked up. So Cabrera goes wide and loses 2 positions. So he's going to lose
make
a third.
That 3. Yeah, I mean, that's the worst place to make a mistake. You've got a very long straight there, so of all the places to make a mistake, that is... that's probably the worst.
Rout's getting a bit of slipstream here on Johnson, looking for third position. He's going to chuck it up the inside. He is going to try a little bit too far back, and it gives him a very tight entry for turn 1. But he holds it nicely, actually, so could get a second bite of the cherry as we go through the centre S's.
He could indeed, and I do think this will release them now to go and catch the front 2, because I think Cabrera may have been holding these 2 up a little bit. But now we'll see what Johnson and Royale made for, especially, like you said, battling for a championship. Interesting to see who does well in the middle sector.
Ben Willis losing a lot of positions there. What happened there? I'm just getting a quick replay through the centre S's. Oh, spinning Zerebic, and he just about holds it on. But he loses a load of positions, sadly, and he's down to 19th. As
whoa, big crash going into turn 4. What's happened there?
Who's that?
That's between Metcalf and Lindberg. What on earth has happened there? Down in.
Replay of that.
I'm now 24th now. What's happened here? Lindberg's just missed his braking point going to turn 4 and absolutely wiped out Metcalf. Metcalf absolutely nowhere to go. A bit of a weird mistake there from Lindberg. Seems to have really lost it, but unfortunately that's them down to 24th and 25th.
That's a shame. Rob Mason's now coming out the pit lanes. It's already.
So yeah, that was for a drive-through. He got a drive-through as he came out. He must have put the permit limiter on a bit early.
A little bit too late.
Yeah, that one. Lindberg has retired, by the way.
That's suspension damage as well. So that's our first retirement of the evening. We're out still following Johnson, who isn't really catching up on Brewster. So the gap is 1.6 seconds between the 2. They are now all the same straight, which looks quite tasty if Rout can really knock it up the inside. You imagine that if Rout can get ahead of Johnson, his teammates are probably going to try and start backing it up and help Rout get the win. But I think if he does win and Johnson comes fourth, that's a 12-point gain. That will still give Johnson a 30-point lead and the title. So yeah, he kind of sadly needs an error from Johnson. To
he needs, a big mistake from Johnson.
Dare I say it, I can't really see it happening.
Do you think, so Johnson would have to finish about, 11th, 10th?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, so let's assume, even if Rout wins 25, so that'll give him 17. If Johnson just got 9 points and finished 7th, he'd still win the title. So the 9th pretty much does it, whatever happens. And he's currently in 3rd, although Rout's going to have a go here, I reckon. He's going to try the outside and duck underneath. He's going to go for the inside. I think Johnson's not really bothering to fight him too hard. He knows that that will do for him. So, yep, Rout is up to 3rd position. Still a podium at least.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Johnson had a better exit, but he seemed to get a bit of understeer in Rual's slipstream, but he has now got that slipstream down to turn 4. Is he going to be thinking of the title? Looks like he will be. Yeah, but he's just backing out. Playing it sensible, and I think, quite frankly, we'd all be doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's got a nearly 2 second gap to Max Melamed in 5th, so there's no real point of fighting it. It's just follow the orange one.
Tilly Will has a good fight. Cabrera and Quint for 7th place. Just swapping places through turn 4 and 5.
Yeah, they are. Oh, there's Cabrera goes a little bit wide there. I'm also watching Fournier and Jankovic in 11th and 12th. The kind of interesting ducking technique there from Antonio to get up to 11th, and he'd go a little bit wide there, but he managed to hold it on. So, just seeing, nobody's been lapped yet, which is always good, as Bruno comes down the final corner, and he'll be completing lap 6. Cameron Brewster only 1.5 seconds behind. He's only got a second gap to Stefan Rout though. He'll obviously be looking at a... Oh, DNF for Antonio, so what happened there?
That looks like it's DNF, that looks like it's going to be a lag.
I don't know, it's going to go what? Yeah, it was actually, just absolutely lagged.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Lagged out, unfortunate.
That gives Fournier his 11th place back. Yeah, I was saying 1.6 seconds between Bruno and Cam. Another second back to Rout, who's had a good exit through the centre S's though, and that's definitely not a second gap anymore. He's going to start getting the slipstream here and start yanking him in. James Johnson just a second back from that fight. Like I said, he knows what he needs to do and is just going to keep following it. Max Menard 5th, and he's got 0.7 second gap to the Hinds Motorsport of Marcel Maniec. What else is happening? Who's in 15th? I always like looking at seeing his 15th. It's Sam Jones at the moment, but Ben Willis may want to have a conversation about that. Sam Jones wide. Just overshooting slightly, but manages to hold it together.
Real, I did actually go a little bit wide coming out of turn 4. I got a bit on the grass and lost a bit of time to Bruto. He has made it back up, but Johnson was having a little sniff, but he seems to have just kept it status quo. But I mean, going back to the battle for second between Brewster, Rual, and probably Johnson soon. I mean, Cam hasn't got anything to fight for. I mean, he's fighting for 3rd, but 4th place will do it. He needs 8 points, and I mean, like you said, he could finish 10th, and he'll be 7th, sorry, and he'd have it. So I think he's going to be mechanical.
You're offering him the 3rd place right now, he'd take it, no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even 4th, he'd take it. I think he's quite content with that. He's got a 2.5 second gap between Johnson and Melamed, like you said. So yeah, it's all to play for in terms of the podiums, but in terms of final championship position, I mean, 3rd place is more than anything Cam I know would have dreamed of. So keep it up there. It's obviously unfortunate for Chergwin and Drager actually in their battle for 3rd in the standings. I think they're fighting for, aren't they? Yeah,
they're a little bit too far back for 3rd now, but they're hoping to consolidate 4th and just kind of hold that because they're only, well, actually, to be fair, they're 23, they're 54 points ahead. Ben Willis fighting the back of Sam Jones here for the last points playing position in 15th, so he's going to try and go for the inside, and Bruno Sousa Ferreira is going to get a nice little slipstream off of both of them. Could be going 3 wide into this. Nope, Sousa's backed off properly for the best, and Stefano's now going to try and get involved. There he goes a little bit wide there. Let's have a look back.
Oh, Vazile up the inside there. Lovely for 18th between Stefano and Vazile. Vasilis, or whatever, sorry.
Stefano, they go a little wide. Yeah, there's, you know, even though it's only top 15 for points, they're still going to all fight up and down the field, which is always good to see. I mean, while I'm just looking, actually, Stefan Rout is losing a little bit of time up the hill, actually, to Cameron Brewster. But I think the slipstream here is going to pretty much have him. Let's see how he does. He's going around the final corner now, pit entry point. Ducks underneath. Cam's going to hold the racing line. It's neck and neck. Stefan gets in the lead. Last of the late breakers. A little bit lock up from Stefan, but pretty much holds it. That's Stefan up to second. Now, will his teammate swap positions with him? There's a 2.5 second gap. And
he's got to watch out for Brewster first. He's got a lovely slipstream going down the back straight.
Yep.
No, he's just going to look. I don't think he's going to go for anything silly here.
He pulled out a little bit too early, I'd suggest, if he really wanted to properly fight for it. Stefano and Vasily are still fighting over 17th and 18th, I've just noticed.
Yeah, it's nice to see some battles go up and down the field. It's nice to, it's not just front runners to look at GPWC. Everyone, like I said, up to 15 get points. So it's nice to, as Fadaska in 30th, because a little bit wide there, but nothing too bad. Everyone gets points up to 15th, so, as Lindbergh is left, but yes, he left earlier in the race.
Yes.
Quite a few battles going on.
Yeah, he left. So we're nearly just going up to halfway point of this race. Cameron Brewster, that gap is definitely not 1.1 seconds to James Johnson. It's now only 0.4, so either Brewster made a slight mistake or James Johnson's had an amazing second sector, but now he's going to have a slipstream up this long left-hander.
Yeah, I think he wants to celebrate a title with a podium, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good call, really. He'll take it if it's being offered to him. He's going to get down the inside. No, backing off. Like I said, he doesn't doing everything he needs to do right now.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, turn one's someone where you don't want to punch someone off. I mean, saw it in real life F1 a few years back.
Max Melamed, 7th place. What happened there? He was up into 5th. So Meniek tried the outside line. Oh, I see. So down the inside, tried to defend. Max Melamed sadly smashed it, spun it round. And I think he's now lost his front wing. Yeah, so
he has.
Falling down the order, sadly. He's currently in